It's after 10 p.m. in Dubai, which means it's after 2 p.m. in Guyana. Today was just the second day of this year's global climate talks, COP28. And today, Guyana went from event to event, meeting to meeting, talking about its plan to continue saving its forests and talking about why more countries around the world should be paying attention to what it is doing to keep those forests standing. President Dr. Irfaan Ali is leading the government's delegation to COP28 here in Dubai, and he attended the World Leaders Summit today, Friday, in Dubai. Now, at that summit, he spoke for just 3 minutes. But in those 3 minutes, he spoke about Guyana's low-carbon development strategy, the blueprint the country is using to keep its forests standing, but also to push its sustainable development. And the president said this isn't just an ordinary plan. It's a plan that's a practical solution to the climate crisis.
Guyana will continue to be a world leader in aligning food security, energy security, and climate security. We stand in solidarity with everyone who is working to create a better future, especially in developing countries. And we will always put practical solutions before abstract theories so that we can play our part in finally bringing climate stability within reach.
The Low Carbon Development Strategy, or LCDS for short, was developed more than a decade ago by then President, now Vice President, Dr. Bharrat Jagdeo. Through this plan, Guyana hopes to continue protecting its vast forests, which cover about 85% of the country's landmass. For illustrative purposes, that area is equivalent to the size of about England and Scotland combined. And those standing forests help to trap carbon dioxide, a harmful greenhouse gas that, if emitted or if released into the atmosphere, would help exacerbate the climate crisis and worsen disasters like wildfires and floods. So Guyana's argument has been that for years it's protecting its forests, so it should also be compensated for keeping those forests intact. Otherwise, the country may very well just clear those forests and pursue money-making ventures like agriculture or mining. That was also a point again raised by President Ali at a side event hosted by Guyana at the Guyana Pavilion. But President Ali was keen on noting that the LCDS isn't just about protecting forests or helping Guyana earn from protecting those forests. It's also a comprehensive plan, a full-fledged economic model of how Guyana can advance its sustainable development.
The LCDS as a model is one that speaks to sustainability, one that speaks to opportunity, livelihood opportunity, job opportunity, sustainable job opportunity. It speaks to the issue of agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and also within the LCDS itself, we speak about renewable energy and how we can have transition to renewable energy.
Of course, questions were raised about Guyana's intentions to now pursue a full-fledged oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry in Guyana and around the world is notorious for contributing or emitting carbon dioxide into the environment. And as I mentioned before, that gas is particularly harmful because it helps to worsen the climate crisis. Now, Vice President Dr. Bharrat Jagdeo made it clear that Guyana's forests and its efforts at protecting those forests for years have helped to offset the bad caused by the oil and gas industry. And even at peak production, Guyana's forests would still be trapping more carbon dioxide than is emitted by the country's oil and gas industry. So he believes Guyana should still be rewarded and acknowledged for what it's doing in relation to its forests.
Every year, our forests remove 154 million tons. At peak oil production, 1.6 million barrels per day, we would only use up 20% of that allowance at peak oil production. We will still be nationally a carbon negative country. And if every country was carbon negative in the world, then the world would be carbon negative or carbon neutral.
Among those persons joining the President and Vice President at the side event was a former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair. For him, of course, it is important to consider the impact of Guyana's oil and gas industry and the oil and gas industry around the world. But for him, developing countries should not be told how to harness their resources.
There will not be an answer to this problem if we try to tell developing countries not to develop. All the countries we work in, they are countries that want connectivity with electricity, they want connectivity to the internet, they want transport links, they want air links, and they're going to get them. And they're not going to listen to anybody who says, look, I'm very sorry we created this problem, but now you guys have got to pay for it. That is not going to work. And that's why the essence of this is, as President Duque was just saying, it's about practical measures to get the climate finance flowing. Because if you can't do that, if you can't finance projects of renewable energy, projects that, for example, allow you to use energy much more efficiently.
Aside from the events he participated in today, President Ali also engaged a number of world leaders in bilateral talks. Among those were the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and his CARICOM colleague right in Suriname, Mr. Chandrika Prasad Santokhi. The president is now heading back to Guyana, where he intends to be before Venezuela holds its December 3 referendum on the Essequibo. Reporting for the newsroom in Dubai, I am Vishani Raghabir.